Now, one of the characters that really gained a lot of criticism within the sequel trilogy is, of course, the character of Rey by Daisy Ridley that was introduced in The Force Awakens by director J.J. Abrams. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, here we are, by the way, we're just less than 24 hours away from the official release of The Mandalorian Season 2 finale. That's really going to be quite something for a lot of fans out there because, well, not only is this the very end of the season, it's also going to set up what's in store for both Season 3 and Season 4, which are both being done back-to-back by Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and others hopping on board. Now, on top of all of this, what's really exciting all has to do with the major changes coming our way by Disney and Lucasfilm, George, John, and Dave over at Lucasfilm to really create this new Star Wars universe for the fans around the world. Now, on top of all of this, what's really exciting has to do with the character of Rey herself. Now, obviously, a lot of fans had issues with how this character was handled, especially in Episode 9, and even especially at the very end of The Rise of Skywalker and the whole Rey Skywalker situation, right? Now, a lot of change is being put into place here by George, John, and Dave to really make things right for the fans. Everything ranging from Daisy Ridley getting replaced as Rey Skywalker by, of course, who we actually talked about lightly the other day, actress Keira Knightley. Now, we're going to be going into brand new details about all of this. What's really intriguing, of course, is, everything related to this actual big project is that ever since Rey was created by director J.J. Abrams within the sequel trilogy and how things ended with the character in Episode 9, fans have been curious of what the future holds for the character of Rey. Now, it's noted that not long ago, actress Daisy Ridley was replaced by, of course, Keira Knightley as Rey Skywalker in the new Rise of Skywalker sequel series that is currently in development as we speak. Now, it's described that they are aiming to create an older version of Rey in the new series for Disney Plus that will take place some years after the events of Episode 9 and will be a show that will go throughout the ages. Daisy was actually replaced as Rey Skywalker for multiple reasons, given that Daisy no longer wanted to be in Star Wars, as well as how no agreements were made on financial negotiations. It's described also that Keira Knightley will be providing facial scans as the new Rey Skywalker, where new CGI work will be done to give her a somewhat older design in the show. Now, Daisy Ridley getting replaced as Rey Skywalker also had to do with Ridley's grudge against Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy, given that Kennedy was also responsible for deleting so many of her scenes from Episode 9 while they were in the middle of shooting the actual movie and more. Now, let's stop right there for a second because this is going to be a very interesting phase. Now, a lot of fans out there, we talked about this a couple of days ago, a lot of fans out there are a little so-so on this decision. I do agree that Keira Knightley holds that resemblance of Rey and/or Padme because, after all, she did play the double of Padme in Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. So she's been already attached to Star Wars, so that already gave her a plus to join on, Disney Plus and within this new Star Wars project that's going to be in animated form. Now, keep in mind, the animation style is going to be very lifelike, very lifelike, to the point where they're able to pull a lot of different stunts that normal people cannot do. So that's the only benefit really to creating animated series that are very much lifelike, is that these characters can go through anything, by just, kind of animating it and doing as they please. Everything related to Keira Knightley as Rey Skywalker, it really is going to be very interesting because the only thing that I really am hoping is that it does not appear too different in comparison to the Rey that was provided by Daisy Ridley. I think that what their job needs to be is they got to make a seamless version of Rey to the point where it's not quite significantly different. Obviously, they are going to make her older in the show because it's going to take place somewhat in the future. After Episode 9, as we discussed a couple of weeks ago, it's going to feature Rey's children as well, to continue that Skywalker lineage. And we've gone over how they are aiming to make her a legitimate Skywalker through multiple ways. We've already discussed that. I'm sure that you guys have been filled in. But what's really interesting all the more about all of this is that Daisy actually still has that grudge against Kathleen Kennedy. There is a problem between the two. And that ultimately is what made, you know, Daisy Ridley step back. It wasn't just because Oscar Isaac, you know, refused to come back, or John Boyega refused to come back. Daisy Ridley actually had a problem with Kathleen Kennedy, as well did, you know, others out there. You know, John Boyega was not happy with how they treated Finn in the Force Awakens promotions. You know, obviously they misled a lot of fans out there, making people think that Finn was the Jedi, and that was a complete flip in 180. So, like I've said, you know, I think that still, regardless, we are on the road to success here. I'm very optimistic about this massive change. Is it sad? Absolutely. I mean, we're at a point where the original cast does not want to come back to Star Wars because of Kathleen Kennedy. Just think about that. I mean, that's pretty depressing in and on itself. So, like I said before in the past, guys, you know, drop a comment below. Let me know about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.